Continuing along, fresh off the heels of that heated woven combat, you continue along following the dirt road as it clings to the side of the mountain. You carry on for some time as you wind and slither through this mountainous valley before you cling tightly to the edge of this verdant expanse, and you begin to hear as the audioscape begins to shift. The ambience of birds and the winds is heralded as you hear a swoop, and you watch as Blue comes back down and lands onto the perch of your wagon as she looks up to you, Ekaterina. And you can hear sort of small, gentle little crows croak as you just hear, ah! Ah!
That was small and gentle?
The small and gentle is a smaller raven can be.
She gives a little, scritch to her beak as she waves Leshy over. I think she's trying to speak to us.
He'll put his hand out for the bird to come to it.
There's a fluttering of wings, but lands onto your little robotic digit.
Can I cast while walking, or do we need to stop?
I'll say that you can. You continue walking and talking before the primal tether is established, and as you sort of hear her, and she's like trying to do like mimes and charades as you guys are carrying along the way, trying to like give you hints to the thing. You're like, no, we'll get this.
Well, can I insight it while we're doing that? Like to figure out what she's trying to say?
You find reprieve in the fact that she doesn't seem panicked, but she keeps making like this this little haunting whistle sound that just kind of it sounds really ominous and upsetting, and then she follows it up with like this kind of crunchy tin sound, like folding a cheap platter, that makes it sound like clinking metal, but not like sharp enough for it to be like an impact or anything aggressive, just like the sound of something metal that's moving. And with a 17, it kind of sounds like it's a really hard thing to put together, actually. Even on a 17, a haunting whistle and a clinking of metal. The omens of these poor charades eventually are left enigmatic as that primal tether is linked. And you hear, testing, hello? This on? Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes.
Oh, good. You'll forgive my lack of proper anatomy. Speech is very hard with a avid larynx. You're coming up on the Surfalls Bridge. It is the structure that's going to be tethering the Sur Ravine. It's going to allow you to pass. There is a figure in the middle of the road. I landed close, and he appears haunting, scarily so. I got close and tried to goad him or anything, and he moved enough to acknowledge that I was there, but he didn't try to kill me or anything. I don't think he was ready to converse with a bird. But whatever it is, it looks scary, but it doesn't seem scary, if that makes sense.
It looks scary, but it doesn't seem hostile.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
By the way, if you're always a bird, why do you know it is difficult to speak as anything else but a bird?
Clock it. Clock it.
Listen, man.
Tea.
You're really breaking my
Gagged.
knees here. Okay. You're being a real pain in the pinions. Let's reel it in. Let's have you keep this to yourself. All right. I need you to get off my flack a little bit. All right.
How many more you got? Come on.
Yeah.
I'm trying to come off as charming and endearing by endearing myself to you with bird puns, and I'm really. I'm not your enemy here.
Look, I don't believe you are our enemy. I'm just tired of people attempting to deceive us.
Well, what if the people who are trying to deceive you are doing so for their own safety?
I mean, if we wanted to hurt you, we could.
Yeah, I figured that, but I don't got like. Listen, all things with time, man. Sheesh. Lay
Fine.
off. Yeah,
Just
we
turn to
could.
the body.
Jeez Louise.
Our
Is Blue like
bird
getting agitated?
Yeah,
Is he,
you
like,
watch as her
pooping
feathers
up?
are literally ruffling. Yeah.
Yes, he says, our bird friend tells us that there is a figure in the middle of the road ahead. On a
Why?
bridge. It doesn't seem hostile, apparently.
All right. Well, what kind of figure?
Tell her it's a man in armor.
A scary one.
That looks scary, yeah.
Yes,
How
some
far?
kind of man that looks scary.
Uh,
How far?
Just around the bend. I can understand them fine.
Around the bend.
All right. So a scary man in armor is standing on around the bend. What's that on the bridge?
By the way, as soon as the bird says, I can understand them, Leshy just gives it a sort of sideways.
Yeah, listen, asshole, you already fucking caught me in my own little thing. They don't understand me, but you can understand me, and I can understand you. Big fucking whoop. Good
Uh,
revelation.
What is with the beef between you and this bird? It keeps getting all poofy whenever you
Sorry,
look at it.
I'll calm down. I'm very emotional about this. Don't fucking tell them, man.
I pull Blue over. I start petting her.
Oh, that's nice.
Knowing that this thing is close to us, can I divine sense
It's not
to see
that.
if I can? Oh, okay.
You know,
That's
the divine
fine, okay.
sense is a pretty.
Yeah, that's why I asked how far away it was. But if it's further than that, then I'm not going to do it. Then.
Oh,
okay.
she would if Leshy communicates the question, how far away is it? She would say just around the bend. He's unmistakable. It's not like he can sneak up on you or anything like that.
Okay.
Yeah, he'd pass it on.
If it's around the bend, then
Okay.
that means it's on the upcoming bridge, no?
Should we take a sit down here before facing it?
It doesn't seem mad.
She said it doesn't seem dangerous, right?
Yes.
I think. And there's a second where she almost says, like, what are the odds of, and then stops herself.
If it
The
is,
last
I will
person
kill
who
it.
didn't seem like a threat ambushed us.
If you want to take a second to sit down for a few minutes, we can.
Losing daylight.
Thank you.
We are. No, I don't know what you say. You're a bird.
Translating to Leshy.
Sorry, I didn't hear you.
We are losing daylight, but if you're content to rest, I trust your judgment.
Fine, we need to get this wolf corpse to the town anyway. We'll just keep moving.
All right, let's go. I give Blue a little cracker from my rations as a thank you for doing a good job as a little scout bird.
How's Garrick looking in the back?
Oh yeah, how's Garrick
Yeah.
after I've given him some stuff?
Yeah, after being drugged, you know? Nobody told
Time
me.
is passing, and I think there's a second where, Garrick, you're sort of waiting for something to happen, and it's uneventfully so. As you're just sitting there, and I think at this point when you are having this exchange, you keep like... You just start to feel like the earliest of small things. You're just like, oh, it's finally, it's going through it. That's a little, woo. All right. You feel a little tired. There's like a lag. There's a latency. Whenever like you move your arm, this like your brain sends the signal to move your arm, but it doesn't move for like 2 seconds before like everything is on. You're like queuing commands like in a video game. But it's your own fucking flesh and body, so it's a little freaky. But it's super smooth. You watch as like the pain in your leg definitely washes away, and every single time your hands touch something, it's like a new experience. It's like you're touching your hands and rubbing them together, and it's so interesting the intensity that your flesh feels against
Oh.
itself. And you just sort of sit there as I think your elven ears sort of droop to the side a little bit. And I think just as they're sort of hanging low by your neck, do your pupils begin to slowly sort of expand. And you just kind of feel everything that is unpleasant as dull, and everything that is pleasant, or at least interpreted as new, is kind of like something that's great. And I think that Rook laying onto your side sort of looks up as you're like touching everything. And this is the softest dog that has ever existed.
Oh. This feels so nice.
My boy zooted.
This is nice.
So are we gonna rest here?
No, we will keep walking.
Okay, I'm just checking. Sorry, I didn't mean to.
Let's go.
Alright, I'm
We
taking
killed
off.
a werewolf. We need to hand in.
You got it. She flutters off and heads back into the sky.
And then he mumbles, "Yes, thanks for warning us about that one."
I didn't see!
I
Yeah.
love your beef with this fucking bird.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll encourage Nori to keep moving forward.
Let's get this here. Da.
Well, there it is.
As you all follow the dirt road as it clings to the side of the mountain, it ends before an arching bridge of mold-encrusted stone that spans a massive natural chasm. Gargoyles cloaked in black moss perch on the corners of the bridge with their frowns weather-worn. On the mountainous side of the bridge, a waterfall spills into a misty pool nearly 1,000 feet below. And the pool feeds a river that meanders into a fog-shrouded pines that blankets the beautiful valley to the side. And casting your gaze ahead, you see standing in the dead center of the bridge is a lone, armor-clad figure with its hands resting on the pommel of its sword, the blade of which is planted firmly on the ground. Leshy, just because I want a little something for you here, as you sort of cast your gaze off to the side, do you pleasantly behold what is the most beautiful vista that you have seen since your resurrection? As from this point so high in the sky as it overlooks the Sur Falls, can you behold a scene of beauty in a land so bereft of its many verdant gifts and lush scenes? Do you feel almost nostalgia as you rest your magic eyes upon this driven landscape? And it's like in this area where you can see ahead, so little to nothing has been corrupted by the touch of man. It is nature, raw and unmolested.
I will have to come back here once this journey is done.
It is a lovely view, no?
Yes. Much
Pretty.
like it was before people came.
I imagine it can't be easy seeing your homeland so changed after so long.
No, but you are all a pleasant sort.
Thank you. Actually, I wish I could say the same for other Barovians, but we try.
Hmm. Friend,
My
Aye.
horse is freaking the fuck out.
feel rather weak. If you would please take the head.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I think Fren is gonna cautiously but confidently walk in front of Devado towards the bridge and see if this thing is reacting in any way.
He's far off, but you watch as his head slowly, like a silent sentinel, turns in the gorgets of his armor and turns to sort of face you head on.
I
What
have
is
a
he- can I
question.
see- Oh, sorry.
Sorry, real quick. Did I see this guy when I was coming from my clan the first time?
You did, and I remember you and I talked about this. You
Mhm.
saw him and like hauled ass past him because you were not like
Not
you did not
today.
want to. Yeah, you were like, if this is a robber, I'm not going to get robbed. And he didn't do anything. He stepped out of your way as you rode past.
Okay.
Yeah, can I see him more clearly now? Like, what does he look like?
You look at this man head on, and I think there are differences that you detect, but there's also similarities. This man has sunken, sallow, pale flesh, as if to suggest a complete lack of circulation within his body. And in his gaunt demeanor, his sunken eyes, where the eyeballs like recede too far back into the skull, you also realize that the eyes are these beady black spheres with this incinerating red iris at its center.
Incredible. What about the armor he's wearing?
It is old, rusted, and nigh unrecognizable. Garrick is tripping sack. Leshy, go ahead and make me a history check with advantage.
Oh, okay.
Both from the history of your memory, and very recently you have found a small cracked pendant that Garrick had repaired when you had visited that watchtower and investigated inside. And does this armor-clad figure bear armored motifs that closely resemble the make of your memory and that pendant? You have reason to believe that this person is wearing the regalia of a Knight of the Silver Order.
One moment. Garrick?
Yeah.
Have you... Are you okay?
I think
He's just looking at you, Katarina, at this point. He's...
It's medication I gave him. He's going to be a bit out of sorts.
Garrick will
sometime.
absolutely, as you're looking at Garrick, he's going to try to reach out and just put a hand on top of your face. Not like caress it or anything, just like full palm on your face. As he tries.
See. Have you got that pendant, Garrick?
Pendant. It's the bag. Bag.
Just...
Is he okay?
He's fine. It's fine. I promise. He's feeling good.
Bag.
He's not in pain. That's what matters.
Okay.
Bag.
I believe you.
She will reach for the bag to look through it. Pendant.
Yeah. quickly find and sift through and locate the insignia. What were you doing, friend?
I was just gonna say, like, could I do? What kind of check would it be to see if I can work out? I think friend can assume just from how this thing looks that it seems to be some kind of undead, or some kind of not a normal creature. What kind of check would it be to work out what this thing could possibly be?
It would be this. It's hard to tell from visual alone. You can make me an occultism check.
Incredible, and that's intelligence, correct?
That is absolutely intelligence, my
Of
big dummy
course,
friend.
I'm so good at those.
Unfortunately for you, even on a nat 20, you can't beat the DC to identify it spot on, but if you do roll high enough, I'll give you strong illusions.
I think it's more also friend would want kind of creature, not necessarily as a specific type, but like just maybe even a category of because if it's undead, then
Yeah, sure. You look on, and you sort of in the way that you are aberrant in your own make. Have you spent enough time with more flush-fleshed people to understand what is and isn't dead? And this thing is dead, but it isn't as fucking horrible as the zombies that you
Yeah.
sort of. It doesn't emit this sort of putrescence about its make. It's a much more neat death. Is the best way that he's able to understand.
yeah. Yeah, I think friend is still. You see, friend kind of just doesn't grab the sword, but it's definitely like on the edge to be like ready. Just by the fact that this thing isn't undead, or some kind of dead
No.
thing.
Sorry. Now standing here, Alicia would say, it appears to be one of those men in armor that we were at the tower of.
But you think that's a knight of the silver dragon? She kind of looks forward at it. If it is, it would have to be a spirit of some kind. Those men are long since gone.
I hope we can elicit a response from it with this pendant.
We can try, but should anything happen, I think we should just make a run for it. I don't think we're in much shape to fight again.
Agreed.
Shall we?
On we go.
Yes.
Let's go.
Oh, thanks, Jacob. Thank you.
Or you fucked everything up. I joke.
I'm trying. I'm sorry.
As you all approach the deathly figure, you watch as it stands up a little straighter, a little taller as you get close, and you watch as this thing's mouth slowly hangs open as it meets you in the final step and says, "Old things are stirring. The Lord of Castle Ravenloft roams now again this valley. Tell me, do you serve him?"
No.
Sir.
No.
His lips curl into a grin at your response as he smiles and says, "Then we are aligned in that."
We
Go ahead.
we found this in the tower, and he will hand out the pendant, sort of
You would-
offering it to him.
You extend your hand, and the man sort of reaches out to gently clasp at the chain before holding it before his own eyes, and you watch his thin lips curl into a gaunt smile. It has been so long. It looks immaculate. Is this an offering for me to keep?
Well, I would not mind. It belongs to you. To begin with.
Noble a creature you are. And he drops his sword for about a moment, sort of leaning it caught between the cobblestones of the bridge, and he drapes it over his own neck and lets it hang over his gorgets as he sort of admires it affectionately, and looks back after you and says, "That was kindly. I thank you. Tell me, adversaries of the Count are few and far between. Do you intend to take to arms or live in defiance of the Count's will?"
Think of that when he looks back at the party because of their recent experience where he feels a bit.
I'm going home.
Where is home?
The monastery.
You are far from home. My condolence is, but I wish you the best of luck. I will not inhibit your passage, but I would be remiss to offer advice. I am one of the knights of the Silver Dragon. West, beyond the walled town, and then south along the ash gray path. We've a stronghold dedicated once to the defiance of Lord Strahd. My apologies. If you seek answers, insights, allyships, you might speak to Sir Gwillem of Hog and Lost Holt.
Of what, sorry?
Argynvost. It's a hard word to say. I'll spell it out in chat for you all. It is the name of their keep. Their patron, as indicated by Ekaterina's earlier story, seemed to be named Argynvost, and then Holt is just the local parlance for, like, hold. And I'll type that in the Foundry chat as well.
Garrick just says it in his high state.
Whoops.
Thank you.
It is refreshing to see ones who still live bravely. who share my disgust and hatred for the beast von Zarevich.
Not all who
Wondering.
hate the Count can afford to live bravely.
He nods in agreement. It is scarce. But I will not inhibit your travel. As his arm sort of gestures to the road ahead as he steps out of the way and says, continue. Follow. Find shelter. Beware of those who walk in the skin of wolves.
We did just kill one of those.
The valley is rife for plunder for those who have penchants for savagery and ill-begotten means. And remember, not unlike myself will you find things malignant and benign.
Bad.
Bad.
I do not know if it will assist you, but we did encounter Strahd not some miles back.
He nods. This road is the only one that crosses the Serpool. I met briefly with his carriage.
What is it you do when he crosses?
Nothing. There is nothing I can do. Not alone. Not as I am. Sometimes. Servants of the Dark Lord will slay us for entertainment. But we always come back.
I am sorry.
Do not be sorry for the nature of my being. It will be a mirthful day when the Lord Strahd dies. Cursed my existence may be. I get to live in anticipation. And you watch as the red in his eyes flare until the black recedes of his scleras and his iris sort of dominates the entirety of the surface area of his eyes. Of that moment, my purpose is singular.
Well, hopefully it won't take too long.
Speak with Sir Gwelem. The order is currently in proper state to render aid. Not before the whole has its own affairs in order. Help us, and we can afford you every advantage against the enemy.
Thank you again.
Of course. Now, on your ways.
Nobody else is saying anything to the nice man?
I think as they go by, Ekaterina nods to him and says, I hope you find peace, Spirit.
Bye bye.
fare thee well, and thank you for not nearly running me over.
I thought you were a bandit. Perhaps I didn't have a chance to
All
shout about.
is forgiven. All is well.
Bye bye, man. Bye.
Bye-bye.
I have
Oh.
a side question, but I'm really sorry.
I will say, as they are walking past the guy, Kane waves and is smiling. He's happy that someone they've encountered on this road hasn't tried to kill him this time. So he's just waving happily, like, bye, hope to see you at the stronghold or something, mate.
I won't be there that I wish you best of luck, horned man.
Kane is just happily waving.
I don't like dead things, no matter how nice they may be.
Victor, what were you saying?
I was saying, I was going to ask, is it common knowledge that dragons have different types of elemental damage?
Yeah, I'll say that anyone who's from Toril like yourself is sort of versed enough. Like, dragon lineages are fairly like commonplace folklore, so you would understand that white or silver dragons are ice.
Does I may have missed this, and I just wanted to confirm. Do these people like fight for, like, in the name of the silver dragon, or they were fighting to kill a silver dragon?
You generally don't know, but if you
Okay.
wanted to ask, you're talking with the head authority on it.
I don't know how bad of a question that would be. So I think, Victor, as they are leaving, I would like to do something, and if it's not within my realm of possibility, that is totally fine. I want to use my ice magic to see if I can just make him a small statue of a dragon made of ice.
Yeah, normally I'd have that be an ability check in order to see like how well you can sculpt it. Would you like me to roll that for you?
Sure.
Let's see how good it comes out. Let's see.
Have we taken a long rest since I left?
No, you're still on the road.
Damn. Would
Okay.
being a specialist in ice give me any sort of bonus?
No, again, you're gonna be making it, and even if you nat 1, is it just gonna come out looking like shit? But you roll modest. You roll 13 as you begin to sort of sculpt in a long sort of Ophidian form with these icicle wings, as as a small little chiromantic party trick. Do you sort of weave the ice into these long strands, and it's not a mastercraft by any measure, but it's certainly ascertainably a dragon. And as you sort of do that in front of the knight, you watch as his thin gauntlets curl again into a very bemused smile as you just hear him. Well done, most charming.
I don't know how. I'll do it. Victor takes a moment and he looks down at the statue and he says, I'm not sure how long this will last, and he offers it to the man.
He reaches out with an underhand and clutches it in his before setting it off to the side on the nice sort of railings of the bridge and says, will likely not last long, but will be a pleasure to observe before it melts and breaks.
Victor will just nod and respectfully go on his way. He's done his kind deed for the day.
For the gay. This guy could be gay, you don't know. He nods his sort of sallet helm to you as you all continue to pass and follow the road continuously northbound. without
Hold on.
incident.
There's a dragon head right there.
It's a wolf head.
Oh, it's a wolf head. Never mind.
But no, you guys continue along the road. Happy to have come out from something like this without anything so as grievous as another fight. Sorry, I'm sifting through my many notes.
Garrick's having the best time of his life in this hellish place.
Your path continues. As you touch down on the edge of the other side of the bridge, you find yourself once again on that mulleted road, which climbs a short distance north before bending west to avoid the bald-headed peak on the right. Its craggy cliffs bear an array of sharp rocks that jut out over the roadway, giving you momentarily stretches of shelter where you don't feel the prattlings of rain that dapple your heads and skulls. And it's not long before the road bends north once again, a second hill arising from the fog, and twisting trees dot its steeped slopes, their branches reaching out like gnarled fingers. As you travel between deeper into the hills, the road narrows, and the cliffs grow taller. Soon, though, the hills fall away once more, and the road continues into a small fog-choked basin. And even here, in the mountains, the forest and fog are inescapable. Ahead, the dirt road forks into two directions, widening toward the east. There, you see patches of cobblestone, suggesting that the eastern branch was once a very important thoroughfare. And ahead, lingering at the edge of the fog down the northwestern road, the high stone buttresses upon the facade of a familiar Castilian wall. You spot huge iron gates that hang on the stonework. Dew clings with a cold tenacity to rusted bars, and unlike the gates once gazed upon at the threshold of this dominion, it is without those imperious headless statues that flank its passage. And again, to the right, to the east, you see sort of winding through that this is the branching path between continuing along to the barony of Vallaki. Once you pass this gate, you're in the barony proper. But to the east is the climbing trail that heads straight to Castle Ravenloft. If you guys would like a better visual representation, let me pop up a map real quick.
Yeah, let's
We
shoot
can
a little
continue.
mappy. Oh no, I was just gonna say I think Ekaterina is going to urge Nori towards the city.
That's so sorry, momentarily. And it's still, you're still a bit out from the city. You're just now in the barony formal.
I meant in the you said there was a
Yeah, sorry.
fork, so I just meant that we're heading in the direction of the city.
You got it. Then we'll move this along to the fork. And again, something else, as you break away from the fork and continue along the path some. Sorry, that fucking voice did a number on my throat earlier.
Listening to that hurt me. Jesus Christ, you're an insane person.
You all hear the sounds of an encroaching entity that is heralded by the clopping of hooves and the quiet rattle of armor. Through the mist comes a skeletal warhorse and its rider. Both are clad in ruined chainmail, And the skeletal rider holds up a rusted
More
lantern
of
that
them.
sheds no light.
Am I still in the garage?
Yes, you are.
Yeah, everyone just got moved around when we were
Gotcha.
dragging stuff. Does it seem to have its focus on us?
Go ahead and make me an insight check. With a 21, it's hard to tell and read body language of something without flesh or muscle. You watch as its head sort of gently crooks on the vertebrae of its own make to regard you. The movement of the horse is unindicative that it's going to stop moving. It seems like it's driven in on a path.
But I guess, which direction does it look like it's heading on the fork?
It doesn't look like it's heading this way. It looks like it's going towards the direction you guys came.
I think
And
he
it's
kind of, just
Sorry, go ahead.
makes a point of pulling the cart out of the way.
It stops properly before you, friend, and as you clear to the side of the road... Oh. Yeah, as you clear to
Yeah,
the
I'll
side,
move
does
on
it very
up.
politely wait for you before it...
More dead things.
How long have you lived in Barovia? That's pretty common here, dead things.
Not good. Very bad.
Did your father not teach you the ways of this world?
Taught me enough. Not that dead things bad. Bad things need to go away.
Concerning. Okay. We should just count ourselves lucky that it didn't want a meeting with us.
That's not any better. So whatever it wants, it's probably not good.
Or it is like many things here, simply a wandering spirit. Either way, it's not our concern. Let's keep going.
Continue. You press forward, passing beneath the tall archway, and eventually into a patch of dark woods. The air here is as quiet as the grave, the trees standing perfectly still in the unnerving silence. Not far from the road, nestled into the overgrown underbrush, stands a massive mossy stone stele, standing just under 6 feet in height. And it sits within a circle of old, cracked cobblestones and seems to bear some sort of carving that's heavily obfuscated by the overgrowth. Sorry. Let's see. As you pass by the stele and continue moving along the path, the road soon emerges from the woods once more, veering between two hills. And before long, it bends north. Finally, and in the heart of the valley, in this distance now, with a vantage sufficient for you to behold, you all see a walled town near the shores of a great mountain lake, its waters black and still. A branch in the road leads west to a promontory, atop of which is perched a dilapidated stone windmill. Actually, I think I have a thing for this. Do I? I do!
You sounded like a young British boy happy that he had a coin.
Yippee!
I'm going to the arcade!
I got the coin.
I just closed my notes on accident. No! Fuck, where was I? I'm so sorry. Atop this promontory is a perched, dilapidated stone windmill. Its warped wooden vanes stripped bare. The onion-domed edifice leans forward and to one side as though trying to turn away from the stormy gray sky. Approaching from the opposite side of the path, do you all begin to hear the sound of a small a set of wooden wheels that are rolling across damp cobbles, and you trace the lonely sound to a hunched figure that seems to be bundled in some soaked rags that is pulling along a rickety wooden cart through the fog. You see an older woman, high up in her years, that seems to be heading in the direction of the windmill that is just from the fork that you passed. As she is sitting there pulling along what looks to be a small canopied hand cart. And she seems to have a modest build about her, despite her sort of weathered age. But she sort of sees you all before she drags her cart off to the side, as so that you guys can pass, being much more dominant in how much of the road you're sort of occupying. And as she sort of sits off to the smile, just sort of finally resting her weathered bones, do you watch as her big toothy smile sort of gently falters a little bit as she assesses the sort of composition of your entourage. And she goes, "Ooh, well, that's certainly not something you see every day now, is it?"
I have the deed to the windmill, correct? I just want to make sure that it's not mislabeled.
Yes, with your sort of reference to the map in the passing of where this thing claims its property. This does indeed seem to be the Durst windmill atop that hill.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure, because the item I had said deed to Durst Manor, and I wanted to make sure it was the right one. I think as we're starting to pull up, is Yekaterina focused on kind of looking between the map and the deed in her lap before noticing the older woman. Have I seen her on the roads before?
I think you've lived long enough that because of your comings and goings, many a two, have you seen her miscellaneously about? You don't know. Roll me just a general streetwise check to see if you know who this woman is.
No.
While that is happening, Victor will am I in the cart or am I walking beside the cart?
You're walking beside the cart. Garrick is currently drug
Only because he got he's fucking cocked out. Somebody put NyQuil.
You fucking NyQuil in his drink.
Oh.
Putting the drunk
He
status.
goes, for a second, Victor holds his notebook open and he goes, after this I think we should take a turn. And he holds up his book like he's trying to show a map, except it just says in printed words, say the word.
Katarina kind of looks down and... Oh, actually, give me my answer real quick before I answer this. 27.
On a 27, you've never personally interfaced with her, but you've actually seen this woman make personal trips to your encampment. She is referred to as Booney or Booney Morgan. You know, Booney is like an affectionate term that people use for like elderly women. So Booney would be like calling her your grandma, basically.
Yeah.
But Booney Morgan is a peddler. She's a merchant of a very specific product that you know one woman in your encampment who has the gift of the sight. Her version of the sight manifests through neuromancy, which is interpreting dreams and portents and omens through dreams.
Mm-hmm.
And Booney Morgan is a woman who you've never known precisely the specifics of, but knows sells something to help facilitate that. And you think that woman she's kind of has her problems in your caravan, maybe relies too much on these substances as a means to interpret them a little bit. So it's always been kind of like an uneasy, like, she's demanding of them, and Booney Morgan's never been one to, like, deny a sale. Especially as you're looking at that fuck-ass windmill, you wouldn't really blame her if you lived in such squalor. But you know Booney Morgan is a wise woman who sells some sort of magic knacks.
I think she looks down at what you've written and she just shakes her head. She goes, I know her. She's harmless.
Victor shrugs.
And she'll lift a hand over her head to wave at her.
Farewell. Forgive me for saying so, but you all look a tinge weary.
It has been a long day of travel for us.
I bet. Travelling amidst these conditions will leave you knackered for sure. You all off to Vloki then?
We are. Yes. I'm escorting the Giorgio's through Barovia.
Forgive me for saying, but that one seems positively zooted.
He suffered an injury, and I had hoped to dull his pain. He seems to be having a good time.
Had I any Milton on me, I'd be more than happy to assist, but I'm afraid you've caught me low on inventory.
I know. Would never wish to impose on you, Bunny Morgan. And I guess, what's it looking like inventory-wise that she has right now?
As you pass by the hand cart, you can see on the back is mostly sold out. Like, all the things, all the drawers and containers here seem nearly tapped. What remains are just like this small, like very few small collection of like 4 remaining little, like meaty tart treats that are sitting out the back. And as she sort of catches you looking over inventory and says, most sold out at the village, there seems to be quite in demand and becoming much more prosperous and popular among some of the folk there. But if you like, I may be light on inventory. These are the few that I have left if you wish to fill your belly.
She kind of looks around at everyone. If you all are hungry, I won't stop you.
And let's not just to satiate your hunger, Steries. Booney Morgan only sells premier pastry treats. A good night's rest is a very hard thing to get here in Barovia. Many a people plagued by horrible, terrible dreams. But one nice filling of Booney Morgan's dream pastries
Boogie.
will whisk you away into the most pleasant dreams one can imagine.
The boogie.
Victor is going to take his cryomancy and he's going to put like a Hannibal Lecter mask on Garrick's mouth.
Christ.
Why? God damn it.
Crazy.
Why?
And how much would these sell for, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, they're a bit expensive in the terms of how much a pastry might typically cost you, but not a bit in an eye that needs a good night's sleep. They're a gold apiece, love.
He kind of looks to Katerina, like, is that like a... Are we being shifted?
She shrugs. For what they do, I would argue that it is worth the cost.
She said she had 4, or did she not say how many she had?
There's 4 left that are sitting on top of the hand cart.
Eric's gonna like almost. He's gonna see them and he's gonna like try to reach out for them.
I think I could at least get 2. I'd be willing to help him, and we can probably split it.
I do not eat.
You don't need to eat proper, dear. For a man of your size, you're a grown boy. I assure you that there is nothing more pleasant to a man of your make, no matter how cobbled together he may be. And a nice, tasty pastry. And treat yourself, dear. You seem in a sour mood. It'll lift you right up.
Hmm.
You know what?
The last time somebody insisted we consume something.
Yes.
Oh, then don't do it here. Do it later when I'm far away and I can't rope you in your sleep.
I've
Victor seems very like
Not funny.
I can speak to it. She sells them in my clan occasionally. They are quite tasty, from my understanding, and they do assist with sleep, if that is something you are looking for.
Are you planning on making any other rounds?
Not today. Fuck no, I'm tired. My bones are weary and I'm absolutely knackered and soaked. Have you seen this weather? It's shite, isn't it?
Do you have any of these at your home that you're gonna eat yourself? Mainly asking if she's selling all the food she has, or if she has something that she'll be able to eat.
Oh, no, I have plenty to eat at me and my daughters eat plenty well off, especially with the coin we make, or just to trade plenty with other farmers. We're well off, don't you worry about our Tums.
I think Victor will then go up, and I'll trade with her. I'll give her 4 for 4, and then I'll give her a gold piece, just on top.
You see that as you move to hand her 5 gold pieces for the 4, does she sort of hand you back 2 and make in like clutches your fingers over it and says, "One on the house for the big boy. He seems like he's had a bad day."
He saying thank you is in a strong suit, and he was like,
So if you don't mind me saying, you're a very handsome young man. You know, I have 2 daughters, both single. If you ever looking to mingle. We'd love to have you by the Durst and by the windmill for some time, huh? Have you ever
Victor's
found yourself-
single too, actually, unmarried.
Oh, a young bachelor is he?
He glares at Katarina.
Yeah, how does Victor react?
Very, very generous. I might have to rain check. I guess.
My daughter Bella loves a man with scars.
A rain check, if you will.
Something
I might
jumped
have
off
to
the page of a
give you a
novella.
letter.
You're a positive
Okay.
doll. Oh.
Yes, thank you.
You know what, Bonnie? I'm sure that we can come by another time and arrange for a very fun little dinner between all 3 of them. How does that
Oh,
sound?
well, let us know. Give us a heads up then, dearie. We'll make sure
Of
it's nice and
course.
clean and prepared. Now, here's your treats, dearie. All nice and packaged for you. She gives you a little bit of a wink as she, rubs shoulders with you for a moment and says, "And with that, you formally bought up the entirety of my inventory, and I can go home saying it was a job well done. Nearly the crumbs left to rake."
Go ahead.
No, you go.
Journey safe, Booney Morgan.
You as well, lovelies. And
As
she wades you all forward.
As soon as she leaves the vicinity, Victor will turn back and just walk. Occasionally, he'll look up towards Katarina like, I normally don't overstep.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you're getting pie later. And he
She puts a hand over her chest and makes this very dramatic expression.
That is very serious.
And then he just walks to the side, pies in his bag, stacked very carefully, very conflicted with whatever the hell just happened.
Yes. Is food always used as punishment? Or lack?
I know that's a
barrel.
thing that the Barovians do. It's not something we do. It's more if you don't finish your food, you might get a little, and she kind of slaps the back of her hand against her other hand. It's white people shit.
What?
Understand.
Understandable, says Friend.
The more that you say, the less I understand.
Weird lady, that was.
First Giorgio's, now white people shit.
Bunny Morgana is odd, but no more so than any other lonely old woman living alone, or I guess with her daughters in a windmill.
Who
I
has
wouldn't
two
be worried
daughters
about
that
her.
are available,
Yes.
apparently.
That's
Very
Victor
available.
is marrying, correct?
Oh well, we
not.
haven't discussed a dowry yet.
We are.
But there's.
I'm
a
sorry.
potential.
We are tabling this discussion. We are getting you down.
Mary.
What does tabling mean?
Talking about it later.
I'm not giving
Ah.
any of you this pie.
So not to know.
What did Garrick do? Give him some. He wanted some. Gave Garrick
I
pie.
do not
I'll
trust
give
the
it to you when
food
you know how to
given.
wield a spoon again.
I'd she's luck I can munch on it. Give it. Just pass it. Pass
No.
me the.
I
Pass
do
me.
not want to risk putting
Garrick-
a bunch of pie all over the back of Ekaterina's card, or she will kill me. As much as I want to stab her right now.
Come on.
That's accurate.
Give me the
Yes.
pie. Pass Garrick the pie. He's got the high munchies. Come
I'm
on.
taking the gag off. That's all I'm doing for you. That is all that I'm doing for you.
Pass me. The
Can
you
we-
can have a pie when we get to the city.
Aw.
Yes, can we do that now, please?
Yes, we're walking. We're going. Relax.
The winding
This is a fucking nightmare.
valley.
Man, I love when
Of
my
all of the life-threatening
so
things of the undead sieges, of the fucking death knights, and
Holy
skeletons, and doomsayers, and werewolves that he has fought so far, this
Yeah.
is the
This
thing that
is
breaks
it.
me.
It's the
Victor-
thing,
That's where he draws the fucking line.
Make no mistake.
the thing that broke Victor is implied heterosexuality.
it's a
Victor
marriage. It's
has
being
been
forced into a
fighting
marriage.
Tooth and nail for his life for so long, killed so many, and then somebody just puts a hand on his and is like, you know, I have people who might want to marry you, and he's like, what? And then, without speaking,
What?
and asking if it was okay, somebody just goes, you know, he's available. The serial murderer turns around and stares at Katerina for a moment.
Yes.
Continuing.
I can officiate your wedding. It's perfect.
Fucking
the
Frank
ceremony
did
spell.
like
Yeah.
5 words
We are not
in.
doing this discussion. Back to town. I'm taking a nap away from all fucking one.
The dark woods that you continue walking between, fleeing to the opposite side of the road, the tall, gnarled trees creeping close as they dare. You hear the sound of the wind rustle, and once again, fluttering from the canopies, the blue-tipped raven, Blue, lands in front. And she just sort of trills comfortably as she hops around a little bit, sort of landing on from the wagon and fluttering onto Leshy's shoulder. She doesn't seem to have any important or pertinent message. She doesn't try to croak or catch his attention. But sort of sits there resting her wings for a moment as she sort of looks to you in case you had anything you need from her. But perhaps it is her neutrality that suggests that she has not detected any hazards up ahead. You can hear the sound of the wind rustling through the leaves and the occasional creak of branches, and from time to time, it almost sounds like the trees are murmuring among themselves, stirring their ancient roots in the old, rotten mulch. As the road continues, the forest swallows it up on both sides, the trees towering far above your heads and blocking out all but the barest hints of the gray skylight. The air grows thick and heavy with a scent of moss and rotting leaves, and in the distance you hear more of ravens' gurgling croaks, followed by the sound of many of fluttering wings. Before long, it becomes clear that your presence in this dreary land has not gone unnoticed, as a small gathering of other ravens begins to follow you all for several minutes while keeping respectful distance. And as they do begin to gather, you watch as Blue's head sort of looks up to sort of crane and look curiously. However, she doesn't seem ruffled. She doesn't seem alarmed. She just seems observational of them before eventually taking wing alongside the flock, sort of meandering into the murder and following you all along the road as you continue to travel uninhibited. Ahead, the trees to the north break, revealing a large, grassy field, the tall grasses swaying in chill air. The field stretches until it reaches the shore of a dark and distant lake. Fog clings to its shoreline, and even from a distance, you can hear the faint sounds of water lapping against the rocks. And Katerina, as you're sort of passing along, the wafting scent of the lake air, and that sort of sound of the gentle, serene sort of washing, it evokes such a profoundly staggering deja vu that you see the peripheries of your eyes beginning to sort of fade in with a little blur of that. It doesn't rip you from this moment, but it's like it's edging into your frame.
I think Yekaterina, who had been strumming on her balalaika as we move forward, stops for a second, and she gives the reins a gentle pull to slow Nori, and she stares a bit wistfully down in the direction of the sounds of water, and after a moment speaks up. I'm sorry, I know I've been pushing us to make time, but would you all mind if I stopped here for a moment?
You mean to scout out the area?
It could be... God. It could be useful, yes.
Fine.
I appreciate
Every
your
time,
patience.
sit down.
And yes, rest could do all of us well.
When pulling over on the side of the road and parking the cart, do you follow a narrow, sort of wood-laid path, where a bunch of these wooden planks have been set into the soil to facilitate an easy natural stair from this roadside path up to the Lake Zarovich? At the foot of the distant Balanok Mountains, nestled into this misty forest, you behold the large Lake Zarovich. The water is perfectly still and dark, reflecting the black clouds overhead like a giant mirror. You can see that in the middle of the lake from this vantage, you see a lone boat sort of gently floats aloft with a fisherman far off into it. But as you begin to approach Yekaterina, do you sort of look ahead and you feel yourself freeze as you behold in the lake? And there is this hybrid of senses. It is the senses of familiarity. You've been here before. You know you have. You've been here a couple times with your sister, with your father, with your uncle, with your cousins. But then there's like this deep pit in your stomach that is the thing that sort of runs you, I would dare say, a little mad. The sensation that you've been on this lake even before that, but can't point to a specific instance. And when you try to meditate on it and reflect, this lake is a recursive focal point in sometimes your dreams, many times your daydreams. You don't know how or why. Every single time you behold this shore, It's just that feeling of deja vu.
I think she lingers on the steps for a moment, her hand wrapped around one of the pillars here, and I think slowly does she begin to approach, move a bit closer.
Thing we need to be aware of. Sorry.
No, you go.
I'm sorry, she turns around to face you, and you can tell that her eyes are a little on focus. She doesn't seem entirely all there right now. No, no, the lake has always been safe, I think.
Still take a look around the area, and then he will turn over towards friend. And same conversation, but I'm still willing to. He'll turn to friend and go. In a second, I'm about to not be able to do a whole lot. Would you be able to just make sure that no one hits me and or shake me if things are bad?
Sounds doable.
Stellar. And with that, I'm going to immediately go blind and deaf, and my eyes go, or Victor's eyes just go completely bright light blue, like ice shade blue, and he goes through the eyes of Wisp, still in the albino raven, to circle area.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead and roll me a perception with advantage. And while you do that, I'll say, as the few of you are sort of winding down this little path to the lake shore, Kane, do you also remember this place? You've been along the shores of this lake a long while ago. Though for you it feels only, you can use either or, whichever's higher.
Okay, thank you, sir.
But having come to this place so long ago, this lake, its shores, and the river that runs out of this lake, the Luna River, were places where your parents would do laundry, where you would draw water, where your people would bathe. And it feels eerie in the fact that despite the hundreds of years, it feels uncanny in the way that it's barely changed a day. With a 15. Are you looking for anything particularly?
I suppose I might be on the lookout maybe for something silver while we're circling, but the main objective will be to essentially see if somebody's trying to hide somewhere and get the jump on us, if that makes sense.
Sure.
I don't want to be surprised again.
Yeah. You look in the immediate surroundings, and I think with a 15, for a moment along the shore, more so to the west of here, closer towards the city, there's a brief moment where sort of near the lapping edge of the lake, you see a woman on her knees that's like sort of bent over with her hands in the water. And as you sort of fly overhead and get vantage on her, is there a brief sort of her sort of sitting back and looking up and sort of admiring the white raven. But the second it sort of flies at a vantage in which a tree branch sort of obfuscates her for about a moment. In that same moment, do you sort of wind back around and look back? And that woman does not seem to be present any longer.
Which direction was said ominous lady that can disappear?
Westward. Sort of in the direction you guys are going to be heading, but by the lake, so not really.
I can speak, right? I just can't hear or see.
Correct.
I think while in this almost like comatose state, Victor will just call out in a soft voice as possible. And he'll say, keep an eye out. West side. someone have just vanished.
Not good.
Unsure if I didn't get a good look. I don't know if they're quick or magic. Looks to be female. Can't give any more details. No longer there.
Yekaterina, as you stand on the rocky shores of the lake and looking outward, why don't you go ahead and make me a perception check as you just sort of drink in the surroundings here.
Okay. Yeah. Oh.
Shit. A natural 20, do you find your senses never more firmly in themselves as you sort of look out and see that this seems to be a modest, harmless soundscape. And as you sort of take a moment to digest and sort of process through these feelings, that unmistakable eeriness of deja vu, do you sort of notice that on the riverbank there's one thing about all of this that sticks out just a little bit from everything else. And that is on the shores of the Lake Sum. You can see that there's a small sort of collection of about maybe less than a dozen small freshwater fish, like trout and minnow, but all dead, washed up into the rocky shallows on the edge of the lake, that are currently being, most of which have already been like relatively ripped up by scavenger predators and everything like that. But you can see that freshwater crayfish have sort of been picking at and eating at some of these smaller little fish bodies, and they're in various states of cartilagic decay.
I'll walk a bit closer to it. Are there any signs that there's like a fisherman here that may have left it, or does it seem like they swam up? I don't know what I would use to determine that.
I'll let you ride your natural 20 off of that. I'll say that they have no hook or anything that would be indicative that they were sort of pierced and then brought to shore. It looks like they beached themselves for whatever reason.
That's not good. I think there is a hesitation to put a lot of thought onto the lake. I think the overall deja vu does leave her with discomfort, but as I kind of look at that, do I know stories of like creatures or monsters within?
History check with charisma, please.
Yeah.
You sort of sit there and you really try to put in a lot of thought, and I think nothing ecologically sound sort of presents itself as like there's an obvious answer for this. But as you sort of just try to like ascribe a fable to it, you know that there's a cheesy little story that your uncle likes to tell about La Dame Luvina, which means the drowned woman, which is just like a very sort of cliche fucking warning fable that prevents children from wandering off from their parents. So, like, if you get too close to the lake without without parental supervision, the drowned lady will come and scoop you up, just as a way as like you could drown if we're not there to help you. Sort of using ghost stories as a way to sort of weaponize warnings. And you do know that like you try to dismiss it because it's like it's a kid's story, but it's the dead fish and everything that just kind of make you uneasy about everything.
May I take a moment?
Go for it, buddy.
All right. So, like a completely unattended toddler, does everybody just start noticing Garrick making his way down to the beach?
Hold on, Gary.
He's somehow moving faster than you. He's just in the,
I got this one.
He's already in the
Grab that
water.
one.
Oh, hey! I think you've snapped out of whatever has been bothering her. Does she grab you by the collar? No, we're not. We're not going swimming. Back up, come on.
Water.
He will attempt to grab Garrick and drag him to these
Grapple.
boxes.
You set him like a punished child atop these crates.
Sit next to Blue.
Now is not the time for a beach episode.
Not here, brother.
We are going to the city.
And you're so very close. In fact, let me quickly account for the travel times because I do that real quick. So while you all speak amongst yourselves, I'm going to quickly pull out my little ruler and get yourself situated.
I'm still cradling Victor like a baby.
You
So she
got
is
it.
just keeping an eye on Garrick, but trying to sit down so he can have a little bit of rest. Almost a short rest, if you will.
Yes, I will. I will allow anyone who wants a short rest to use this.
I don't need one.
To take it.
Oh, thank you.
Need one right now.
I just saw an opportunity and I had to take it. Really.
I'm happy for you.
Fucking-
I think Friend does at some point just start tapping his foot.
Wow, some actual good rolls.
Look
Nice.
at you, all healed up. Almost done with your travel arithmetic here. Don't mind me. You'll see that the time is moving in small little 10-minute patches.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
This is your. Let's
It's-
see.
Can I make
Maybe it'd be good to
like a
camp
hit
out
die?
here.
How about you roll a hit die?
You guys are 20 minutes away from the city.
Oh, okay. Wasn't sure.
I was
You've
like,
never been closer. But you guys. So good.
Sorry, no, I will deliver this letter if it will be the death of me.
No!
No, fuck.
like a two.
Then, carrying along and departing from the Lake Zarovich. Having achieved a resurgence of rest and heading back along the road, do you find yourselves following the meandering path that heads into the valley some? Let's change back into this one, pardon me.
Boat.
Gotta fix that one. The rain is finally sort of left up, sun, and is sort of cleared enough of a way as come night, the clouds begin to part just gently and allow you to see the gentle glinting of above stars. The woods recede, revealing a sullen mountain berg surrounded by wooden palisade. Thick fog presses up against the wall to this city ahead, as if looking for a way inside, hoping to catch the town aslumber. Let's get the proper vista here. Voila. Let's change the track. Let me get that. Up ahead, you can see that the dirt road sort of winds down this long final path as you arrive to the city of Valaki and find that it ends to a set of sturdy iron gates with a small menagerie of shadowy figures that stand behind them. Planted in the ground and flanking the road outside the gates are a half dozen pikes and wood. What's the word? Palisades. I've already used it. That are sort of pointed out with wolves' heads that have been impaled on them. You can tell that more than a dozen ramshackle tents have been set up along the palisade wall, and among them, sort of a couple 100 feet off to the west, some sort of following along the edge of the wall, you can see that there are dozens of these ragged, emaciated people that mill about or just sit by low-burning campfires and bedrolls with their hollow gazes sort of looking in your general directions as you approach Katerina, what you know to be called the Morning Gate. You know it to be called the Morning Gate because the direction of which that it sits towards sort of welcomes the morning sun, heralding it as you all approach. Leshy, you are perhaps disturbed to see the upsetting preview of these lupine severed heads that have been individually impaled on these spikes. But you see these men sort of stationed atop look down and are sort of waiting you all as you encroach.
Hmm. For the people that you said were milling about, would they be on the road?
The people that are milling about are in this direction, about 100 feet or so.
I see.
If you
As-
want to tour that way, you're absolutely allowed to. But, go ahead.
As we get a bit closer, you guys see Katerina sit up a bit straighter, and she affixes this very charming and sweet smile on her face as she waves up to the man atop the palisades.
You hear the man sort of climb down his station some and lower himself behind a ladder that's on the other side before he walks out and beneath the gate. You watch as his keys sort of trickle through, open just enough, turn, close, and relock the front gate before sort of moving to meet and says, Missy Katerina!
Good evening. What is his name? I'm so sorry, I've forgotten.
This man is Captain Viren Miklos.
Hello, Captain. Now, I understand that it's just after dark, but it's only a handful of minutes, and I am hoping to introduce these fine outsiders to the beautiful city of Valaki, and I was hoping that perhaps just this one time.
He takes in a big inhale, looks at you, and then looks at your entourage. And I think he takes a second as his eyes linger longer on Friend than anyone else. As he says, You know well off that we bend the rules far more than we should. For you, I know you have your paperwork in order, but then you would know well off that all of these people need writs just like anyone else coming and going. You also know that the city's at capacity, and we don't have capacity for abnormals, as he sort of looks to Leshy, to Friend. And I think he double takes to Kane before he very pointedly makes a gesture and says, And that elf has elk horns!
It's decoration. You know how these elves can be with the leaves and the trees, and then she kind of waves a dismissive hand. Relax.
It's very convincing costume, but why is he wearing elk horns?
He's a druid.
Okay.
Kane nods along enthusiastically, just playing into this role that he's been given. Yes, I am but a humble druid. I appreciate elks greatly. They are one of my favorite animals. Can I roll a performance on this, actually? I think that would be funny.
I think you're allowed to, with the understanding that there is no DC to make him care.
Let's do it for the shits and giggles.
Yeah,
How
let's see
good
it.
is Kane doing this? Where is performance when I need it? There we go.
Let's say on a nat 20, we'll give you. No fucking way.
Oh my god! Phenomenal!
Jesus
Phenomenal!
fucking Christ!
You're so fucking funny, actually.
How dare you?
Fucking-
You know what?
I'm not
Legendary.
liking elks.
Kane gains a level in Druid.
Captain Miklo staggers for a second and says, "Oh, I didn't know the circles had dusk. Anyway, sorry, sir. That was improper.
That's right. It was. It was very rude. I've come to expect a great deal more from you, Miklos.
Well, listen, regardless of my leniency, maybe I could let you to the gates, break the curfew rule, just for you, you little." And he sort of clenches his fists, like he wants to say something mean before he sort of cools off and says, "But for them, you'll need approval from the Lord Commander, and the Lord Commander's."
After he says that, I think Friend is going to take out the letter, and he's going to go to Ekaterina, and he's going to sign to Ekaterina to see if telling them that they have an official missive from the Burgomaster of Barovia about dealings with the father.
Are you putting Victor on your shoulder, or are you dropping?
Oh,
the
yes.
sign?
Yes, I just sling Victor over my shoulder. Yeah, and not only is it an official missive from the Burgomaster of Barovia, but it's also to do with dealings with the abbot of the abbey of. Make sure I name my own place of birth correctly. Did I pronounce it correctly?
Krezek.
I have it written down here.
The Abbey of
Of
St.
Saint
Markovia.
Markovia. Yes.
She signs back to you. I can try, but I do think at the most it might be only me who gets
Yes.
in. If you want, I can drop this off with the courier.
Can I have Wisp crow or like caw, or is that something only Wisp can do and I can't do it when looking through their eyes?
You can control the faculties of your familiar.
I am gonna have Wisp caw slightly, and if Ekaterina happens to turn around, I will gesture towards the bag that Victor has, which contains all of the pies, in case we need to sweeten the deal.
She looks at the raven and then looks back to you, sighs, looks over to
Unconscious
Friend again.
Unconscious corpse.
Yeah, just if you want, I
Is
can
he
deliver
dead?
it to. No, he's tired. It's been a long journey.
What about the thing holding him? Is that dead?
No, he's a holy warrior created by the abbey in Krezek, the abbot in Krezek.
Well, that
I
holy
don't
warrior has
like-
cataract.
At things.
We do have something.
Not
that's
compare
dead.
me.
Yes. Okay, everyone just hang on a second. Puts her hands up. Handful of things here. I'm going to go through them one by one. One, we do have a letter of introduction from Burgomaster Ismar Koyanovich, which she pulls out and hands over to him. Second of all, I do have a very important letter from the Burgomaster that must be delivered to the abbot, and at the very least, I would like to get in and hand it off to a carrier. Third, I know that today is the day of the Wolfhead Jamboree, and I will not be denied my platinum for slaying a werewolf.
You, Ekaterina, slayed a werewolf.
Me and my band of merry adventurers.
And I'm supposed to take your word for something like that.
I open up the bag and pull out the head and hold it in front of him.
And
Fuck
Wisp
me!
starts laughing. Wisp starts like crow cackling, where it's like,
Why is it frozen like that? What'd you do to it?
Our unconscious wizard friend back there. When he's awake, he's very useful.
Fuck me. Maybe
Pop it
when
back in the bag.
Alright. Yeah, he sort of like whistles down and they pull out a small little coffer and flick him down and says, one king's piece for you, man. And hands you a platinum coin.
Oh, shit. Thought I was gonna have to go in for that. And she goes, nice. Regardless, I do need to deliver this letter, and I'm assuming that introduction doesn't get the rest of them in tonight.
No. No matter what, it needs to go through the Lord Commander.
And I don't.
So I'll
want
tell
to.
you what.
Mm.
You can either give those to me and I'll present them for the Baron, so that you can have yourself an audience with the Baron, pardon me, come morning. Or you can wait until sunbreak, let yourselves in, and properly have yourselves introduced with your official letters and missives to the Baron. Now, if he has something that needs to be delivered to Krezk, I'm sure that we can hire a team of scouts or couriers or whatever have you to have ran to that barony, get a head start of that come morning. Letter of introduction isn't going to do you much good from out here, but you can let him be aware of who you are, so we can put you on his radar should your appointment come.
She kind of makes a face a little. If anyone wants to kind of see what she's thinking, you guys can roll insight checks, but there's a hesitancy there.
Can I do it through Wisp? Am I allowed to?
Like...
It's not rolling wisps inside. I'm saying, can I do the insight, although I'm seeing through wisps still?
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
Also, Lesha, you're fucking tired. You're as tired as like a machine spirit could
I'm
be.
sorry,
dog.
buddy.
I'm unconscious.
Damn.
Everybody's
Oh my god.
Listen. I'm just happy that this is where we rolled bad. That's
Kane,
all.
Friends.
Kane, you
Kane.
wanna try, my boy?
Ooh.
Oh,
All
fuck.
right.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, so to the three who
Yeah.
rolled like dog, Yekaterina,
Alright.
you get the feeling based on your other interactions, she doesn't really like authority figures. That maybe there's something there where she
Yes.
just doesn't really want to hang out with nobility.
Nobody's touching my letter anyway.
And
My
then
letter.
you see Kane, however, you notice that at the mention of a Lord Commander, is there an immediate discomfort with Yekaterina. She tenses in a way, and you can watch as her jaw grows tight. That exact same expression shows up again at the mention of the Baron. So you think that perhaps maybe there's an association there, but you're not exactly sure why. And she looks back to Friend and signs. It's like, do you need me to get the letter in tonight?
No, it is fine. I will do it myself.
She hands the letter of introduction over, but not the one that's meant for the abbot. She goes, we'll find couriers on our own, but I suppose if you need to hand this over to the Baron to help fast-track our entry into the city, I would appreciate it. Captain.
He sort of looks it over and says,
Well, I wouldn't dare break a noble seal, but I'll make sure it's delivered right and proper to the Baron. If you want a recommendation for a private courier, I would recommend the trappers, Yevgeny and Soldov.
Mm.
We'll find them come when, I suppose.
Pretty
For
good.
now, we're settling with the refugees.
We do need to speak to them.
You're always welcome to fuck off back to your encampment as well. Not saying that we don't appreciate your company here,
Whoa.
but
No, I understand. Thank you, Captain. We're sorry to bother you this evening.
now stop making trouble for me.
Before you go, there was a girl that traveled this way. Do you know if she entered here? I forget her name. The player, me, forgets her name.
Gertruda.
Thank you.
his brows furrow and says,
Listen, we have 3 gates. We have the lake gate, morning gate, sunset gate. And I'm not on patrol 100% of the time.
Can you at
I'm
least
afraid I
see
don't.
if her name's written down in any logs?
go ahead and give me a persuasion check. I'm going to say with
No.
advantage because of him feeling bad about upsetting Kay.
Yeah. 24.
Fine.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If I find out I'm racist.
Tell your wife I said hi.
Have rights.
I'm offering discounts on readings if she's interested.
As he disdainfully reasserts the station, are you guys left to make camp outside the walls for the tonight? Now you have two places you can go,
Yes.
and you can visit them both, but you can only settle at one. You have the Zarovan encampment, which is Yekaterina's people, and they are just a couple minutes off the road and down to the south. But immediately, just a couple dozen meters off this direction, you can see the refugee encampment.
I do not know if we wish to rest with them, but we did promise to tell the refugees that Barovia was secure now.
Yes, we can go speak to them. If you all would want to stay with me, my people, I will lead you there. But one thing we perhaps should talk about, which is the elephant that has been sitting in the proverbial room. I don't know why I said that. I don't know what an elephant is.
The beholder in the room.
There we go. Thank you. The people who robbed you, the one who led them, is my uncle. I was planning to join them. That is why I made my trip along the roads.
Your uncle robbed us, and as a result, we ran into you in the mansion.
Yes. So it would seem. Serendipitous.
It seems he would owe us then.
I doubt he would see it that way, but I am certain that...
He will see it that way.
No, okay. I'm not going to bring you there if you're going to incite any sort of violence against my people. I'm sorry. I understand you're upset about what happened. I simply can't allow that. I can speak to my uncle and my father and everyone there, and we can have a discussion regarding reparations. But I need
would
your
prefer
word.
that to violence.
Thank you. I am not going to sit here and try to defend what they have done. But it is something that... It is complicated. He does it to support and protect us.
Kane is going to pipe in now. He shrugs slightly. I am fine with going to your encampment. I say we should let bygones be bygones. After all, I believe those who were robbed acquired most of their items back.
It's a very sensible way to look at it. I would not blame you for being angry. I truly mean that. If anything, go ahead.
I just hope that their wine is a bit nicer than the ones that was poisoned.
Strangers on the road get poisoned. Guests do not. I will say you will be giving my Uncle Zentori the shock of his life, because I don't think anyone has ever come to find him after one of these. Not that we do it often, of course. But...
Wow.
This...
Shut up.
This will be a new one for him. But my uncle aside, my father is very, very kind to guests. And I'm sure, knowing that we all have traveled together and you have protected me, that he will be most grateful.
I'm not going anywhere. Victor says, slung over Fren's shoulder still.
I think you are now back in cradle mode.
Baby. Oh, let's
Yes,
go talk to the
baby.
refugees, and then it's been a long day for all of us. We should try to rest. Perhaps we can have someone at the camp look at Garrick's leg. We have a healer there.
It would be good
Yes, it's
to
probably the
get
same healer
Garrick
that healed him the
help he
first time.
needs.
All right.
Jealous I can't add getting robbed to the list of things I've experienced so far.
You weren't robbed. You weren't even there.
True.
You came in later.
Going
I
down.
never get anything fun.
If you want, I can have my
I'm
uncle
sorry.
rob you when we get there. I think
Oh,
you'll have
I'm
a good
sorry,
time.
Mr. Nearly one shot at the werewolf. I don't get anything fun.
You're
Man.
unconscious.
Okay, okay.
You're
Go
past
to
Meanwhile-
sleep, drug boy.
Fucking.
The warlock who doesn't need any of their equipment. Oh, I feel fine. I don't think I need reparations. I'm good.
No,
Yeah.
I think this. I'm not really upset about what happened. If I'm being perfectly honest, like I don't know why y'all are so. pissed
The
at it,
warlock who
honestly.
had literally nothing but the clothes on his back.
It's just like
Yeah.
it really wasn't that big of a deal, guys. Come on,
You guys
grow
got
up.
robbed. Like you lost anything.
Yes. You know,
Bruh.
it's not like they stole the only things that Fred has ever actually physically owned.
And steal a
You know.
man who literally was on death's door and lost from like an
Yeah.
entirely new place.
It's not like I'm a paladin of vengeance. You know.
It's not like they stole the axe that was given to Leshy from his people hundreds of years ago.
I don't like they stole the only thing that connects Garrick to his realm, which is his.
It's not like
Hey.
they stole nothing from me because I don't get to have fun.
It kind of sounds like you guys are against a man trying to support his family and like starting
Whoa.
a business.
Like
Like,
the Robin Hood
oh,
of
I'm
Missouri.
sorry. You guys
I
hate
never
small
said that.
businesses.
I never said I supported them.
Oh my god!
Never said I did.
Fuck capitalism.
Alongside and adjacent
I have no money.
to these gates, you all approach what lies a cluster of ramshackle tents all huddled against the wall, as though seeking shelter beneath the looming silhouette of the town's palisade walls. The tents themselves are laid out into a two-sided thoroughfare with crude wooden barricades and muddy ditches beyond the far side facing out against the dark forest beyond. Through gaps in threadbare canvas, you can see crude wooden pallets, makeshift bedrolls, and the occasional battered cooking pot. Small, low-burning cook fires dot the grimy, narrow avenue, and piles of sticks and half-rotted logs rest haphazardly beside them. There are a dozen people or so. Their bodies are all gaunt and their faces drawn, move slowly about the camp. Their eyes are sunken and hollow, their clothes hanging loose on thin frames, and a few of them huddle near or adjacent to campfires, bodies hunched against the chill air and hands outstretched to achieve meager warmth as you encroach the encampment.
No, I'll leave this one to you, Leshy.
While that would be very fun, Leshy has to leave.
I'll handle this
Right.
one on your behalf, old friend.
You know what? With only 15 minutes that's sort of slotted into the remainder of the session, let's go ahead and punch our ticket here.
We need
Nice.
time to finish the camp. It's okay, don't worry.
Thank you all so very much for playing. Thank you all so much for being here for another fun week as we finally reached civilization proper. Without further ado, we'll quickly go into Stars and Wishes. Leshy, if you don't have the time, you may leave. We wish you farewell. Or if you do have the time, you're welcome to go first.
I have the time to go first, and then I'll join on the phone so I can listen in.
All right.
Hades, thank you for always giving it 110% with running the game, telling the story, and rolling with the party's whims. I thoroughly enjoy how much you allow us to explore the limits of what we can do in and out of combat. I really like Blue, even though Leshy feels unsure about them. And the Silver Dragon Knight on the bridge had a very painful sounding voice, but it was amazing. Kane, well thought out tactics and pushing the wolf back, and good description for how you finished the Wolfman. You felt a bit quiet today, which I'd guess was due to Jet. Your interaction with the gate captain was really funny, and you did well playing into it with the performance role. Friend, great description on how he doesn't care anymore in his depression arc. It was really fun to bully the Wolfman with you and treat the cliff like a means to an end instead of an obstacle. I wish we got to see you jump on top of him with a smite. Garrick, love how you always roll with the punches, such as getting a nasty injury and role-playing it through. Well done on finishing off the wolf, allowing friend to move freely. Your drugged roleplay was very entertaining. Victor, fun thinking outside the box for freezing the ground to send the enemy slipping off the cliff. Amazing crit on the Wolfman. It was really hype, and you added some cool flavor with your description of it. Your response to the old lady's proposal and interaction with the Katarina around it made for great entertainment. And Katarina, nicely done thunder punching that wolf into next Friday. I wish I didn't roll so poorly with the bardic inspiration, and I always appreciate having it though. I always enjoy learning more about the land and the people in it through your character's knowledge, because we don't have as much. And I'm excited to meet your uncle next session. Yes. Okay, I will be joining on the phone now.
All right. Bid you adieu, and thank you so very much. We'll then move on to Victor Quinn with a 97.
God, I cannot stop rolling high in these. This sucks, dude. First of all, Hades, thank you very much for running, and always, of course, just kind of like giving us a really, really cool. I know it's a pre-written world, but you could very easily have made it like, and then you walk up to this person and they're like, "Hey, how's it going?" So I just really like the diverse amount of voices. I have to tell you, I was driving home, and when you were using the knight's voice, I could not have been more locked in to listen to his conversation. It's really bad, but they sound like a medieval 10 or a spam pin from Deltarune, because they have the two different voices that they swap between. I'll leave it there. Also, you have really good sounds and sound effects. Right now, I honest to God, the birds were chirping in Foundry, and I genuinely looked out my window twice to see if my window was open, because I thought I could hear birds outside my house. Kane, I thought right at the end, a bunch of things, but I thought no, I'm actually just a really, really big fan of this. It was very, very funny. And I also thought that, just in general, I appreciated getting the congrats on the not nat 20, but the high score to get Ekaterina to expose a little bit more about where she stands. Because everyone else was rolling really poo-poo. So fantastic work there. Friend, thank you very much for carrying me. It's always really fun to see both of our brutes tackle combats, which we'll play into Leshies as well. But very nice work clocking the enemy, and then thank you for critting me like a baby and then slouching me over your shoulder while I'm in the middle of my wizard stuff. I think that'll be very fun to do as we get later on. Garrick, seeing you on NyQuil mode is very funny. That's all I gotta say. We should put you on NyQuil more often.
What the fuck?
And I also think that you had very realistic reaction of getting your leg bitten off. Not bitten off, but like bitten into, where you were like screaming in pain, and instead of doing a more like strategic attack, you're just like throwing. When you were throwing your weapon, I was like, that was very, very. You're not thinking as a combatist. You're thinking as the person, what would they have done in that moment? So that was very, very fun. Leshy, you have to know that yours was bodying the werewolf and jumping off the cliff. I could not have been more. You're like, well, what? He jumped? I thought that was super, super fun. I could not have laughed harder. And I had to literally mute, and then I had to cover my mouth really, really hard because I was in the middle of work, and my principal was having a meeting right above the floor I was on. So I just stayed very quiet, but it was very funny. Katarina, very nice to see you interact with the world as always. I hate you for making me suddenly get agreed to a date and immediately going, yeah, he is a bachelor. I'll break your fucking ankles, dude.
Damn.
There's gonna be one moment where either Katerina needs help or she's just walking, and then she just happens to slip on ice, and then Victor's like, that sucks, and then just walks away.
Down,
Oh,
anyway.
man.
Oh,
Damn.
what if Victor isn't single? We've just been assuming this whole time.
Who knows?
I
Not
don't
anymore.
think Katrina cared in that moment. I think it was just for the bit.
I killed my wife. No.
Hmm.
But
I'm
yeah,
here to
all
snatch
around
you.
very, very fun. Thank you guys for letting me be a part of it. Also, as a side note, my concert went pretty well. It was 3-year-olds, 4-year-olds, and 5-year-olds singing a bunch of songs. And we had a cookie sale afterwards, and we raised
Ooh.
$300. So
Good
it was
job,
very,
buddy.
very
Hey,
I don't know if
and
you can hear it,
only
but I'm
have
clapping.
4 more of those to worry about before I'm done with the school year. So yippee, yippee.
incredible.
right.
And that was it. In the meantime, everyone else go.
Well, thank you so much, our beloved Victor. Then we now turn to our agitated friend.
Yes, depression mode, friend. But yeah, okay. Hades loved it. Loved the voice of the soldier on the, even though it sounded like the most painful thing possible. Loved all the voices. Loved the old lady voice. I like how she was different from the other old ladies we've experienced in the campaign. I loved the combat. I loved that. You know, I've played in a couple of games, but sometimes DMs get a bit agitated when combats they thought were going to be more intense, kind of are less intense. But I like the fact that you were just as hyped as we were for the incredible crit from Victor. Yeah, and overall just had a great fun time. Kane, I love seeing Goofy Kane. I love seeing a little bit more of that kind of like fey trickstery side of, yes, I'm going to pretend to be a druid. Even though I have been told explicitly that it will have no actual positive benefit for myself. It is of what I want, but I thought that was fun. And also just the small moments of like Kane kind of, you know, praying over the graves. Well, not necessarily praying, but kind of paying their respects. His respects, I thought that was really fun as well. Garrick, I mean, yeah. Honestly, incredible. Like, committing so much to being high for pretty much 75% of the session was just an incredible thing to see. And yeah, the fact that you really roleplayed kind of, you know, wound that you received and made it also part of what you did on your next turn was really fun to see as well. Leshy, I mean, incredible. Jumping off with the werewolf, great play, and then ripping its head off. Again, I love the moments where we're reminded that Leshy is not he's not a human or like a humanoid. He's this kind of creature that almost like true neutrality of like, oh, this thing might regenerate. Let me just make sure it never does. We're just ripping its head off. Which I think is always fun. And then Victor. Loved Victor, loved the crit. Loved how always how you kind of, you know, make sure your spells kind of fit your theme of Pyromancy. Yeah, I love Beach Buds. Carrying Victor the whole time was really fun. And then Yekaterina. I love seeing a little bit more of the fun side of Yekaterina as well, the whole marriage proposal situation. I feel like we, especially towards us, we always get the kind of, you know, more not necessarily like strict, but the more kind of serious and responsible Yekaterina. To see her be a bit more just fun and playful was really fun to see. And then yeah, like Leslie mentioned, having all this kind of lore from you is always fun to have, and always kind of adds a bit more, you know, lets us kind of plan a bit more to what's happening because we've got this person who knows so much about this world. But yeah, overall had a great time, and my voice will sound better next week.
Yippee. Well, thank you so very much. We'll then look to our dearest Kane.
Yippee. Starting off with Hades, a great session as always. The voice for the let me check my notes. The Knight of the Silver Dragon on the bridge was an insane voice. I will say half the time I did not understand what was being said, but I think that's the point. And I do also have audio processing disorder, so you know that plays a part. Yay, hearing problems. Yay, I am on meds for that. I am going for it. Yeah, even though my brain was like, what is being said? I enjoyed it because it was funny. Like, yep, sure, Knight. Thumbs up to you. And just, the session was great. And I love you just letting the bullshittery happen, like with Leshy knocking a werewolf into a cliff 50 feet down. Like, yeah, why not? Just why not? Sure. Next up, friend. I actually wrote notes for this, which are very chaotically organized. I need a better system. There we go. Found your section. I love how just mad friend was. Just grumpy. He's like a toddler throwing a temper tantrum, essentially. Just like, come on, hurry up, get us to the town. I need to see Dad. Well, I need to see Father. And just every time we made a stop on the road, him just sort of rolling his eyes at the notion. I love annoyed friend. He's such a silly little goober. Well, not a little goober, he is a big goober. A silly goober. Who's next? Garrick. There we go, found your session. I absolutely loved the drug roleplay with Garrick just being high off his nut. Absolutely hilarious. Just how at first it was like, this is weird medicine, but sure, I'll take it. And then as it goes on, he is just zooted out of his mind. Meow 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 to you too, Jet. Next up, Leshy. There we go. As I mentioned in the section for Hades, the whole jumping off a 50-foot drop with a werewolf, that was hilarious. Genuinely insane. I think Jet was disturbed by me laughing so much, but it was brilliant. And I also love when the issue of the werewolf possibly regenerating was brought up, and Leslie just tore off its head. Like, there we go, no problem. Let me see who is next in the order. Victor. There we go. Absolutely loved just the combat and just getting a crit hit, almost one-shotting the werewolf. That was great. I feel like I'm gonna sneeze. I'm gonna try and make this quick so I don't sneeze and die. Also love just how do I phrase it? How do I phrase the fucking okay. The section when you were seeing through Wisp's eyesight and just like essentially being nonchalant about the fact that you looked dead to the gate warden. Just yeah, average daily activities, looking dead. Meow. Next, Ekaterina. There is. I need to make my notes better. There we go. I love the mystery surrounding Kat with how she reacted to seeing the lake. How initially it was just, familiar. I give up on that fucking word. How initially it was her recognizing the lake from her own memories, but then, like, the other memories coming in. I loved the mystery that's surrounding her. I also love just her banter with Victor on the road with the old lady, where Yekaterina was like, yeah, he is single, ready to mingle. You can introduce him to your daughters. Just taking the piss out of Victor. That was brilliant as well. I am gonna be done now. I'm gonna sneeze and I'm gonna hopefully not die.
All right. Thank you very much. Then we'll turn to you, Katerina.
Hello. I'm stupid and exited out of Foundry without realizing it, so I'm going to be going in the order of the Discord call. To Kane. I really enjoyed you playing off of him being told, or the guard being told that you're a druid, and you just immediately jumping into that. I thought that was really good. And you got a final kill today. You had a good combat today. I really enjoyed that. I thought the final description was really, really good. As mentioned before, I would like to hear a little bit more from him, but I do think the bits that he contributed to overall were really interesting. Even if it was just like little bits, I still think that he makes a point of like being known as a character. To Friend, I also really enjoyed his little toddler tantrum. I think it's really cute. It makes me sad because every time he talks about his dad, it doesn't sound great, but then like he's also so eager to get back to him, and I'm just worried. I don't know, man. But no, I really like it. I like that you have a singular goal and you're sticking to it. I like that you're reacting to everything in a way that makes sense without like, it would be really easy to hinder gameplay with what you're doing, and you don't. You still allow for things to continue to happen, even if it's something that you don't want your character to happen. I think that shows a really good balance in how you play the game. So I think you've been doing a great job with that. To Garrick, Chris, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Have you been high before?
Twice.
Okay. I obviously loved your RP. I thought it was so funny. I think it's really great that Katerina was like, here's a drug, and you were just like, yeah, sure, I trust you. Okay. I thought that was really, really funny. I always enjoy it when people really push the fact that they have injuries. It's one of my favorite parts of the lingering injuries thing. Also, very quick apology for always wanting to roll that. I just simply love that table. I think it's so fun. But no, I just thought it was a really, really good job. So even prior to the drug thing, I think Garrick was giving a lot today. I think he had a lot of really interesting things to say. I like that he shows an interest in Barovian history. And I think even just like the small act of mending the medallion was really sweet, actually. I thought it was nice that like he finds something broken and wants to go out of his way to fix it. I think that really speaks to his character, and it was such a small moment that I think said so much about him. So I thought that was really good RP. So good job with that. To Leshy, I loved Leshy today, man. He's so fucking funny. I know everyone's talking about the throwing the wolf off the thing, but what really killed me was you're prefacing it with how much damage do you take from a fall? That wild, incredible. You fucking killed it in combat today. It was wonderful. I think, again, this is something, the way that you show how Leshy fights really shows who he is as a person. And I thought that was really fun. I think he has a lot of really funny lines. Your interactions with Blue are one of the funniest things in the fucking thing, because even though you're like, yeah, no, I don't think you're necessarily a bad person, you're still beefing with her, and it's so, so funny. I love watching every interaction you have. With Blue specifically. Anytime you get to interact with animals at all, but Blue specifically has just been so, like, it's such a delight to watch. And I like that he's so invested in getting to the refugees, and I really liked the moment he had on the bridge and seeing Barovia maybe like the closest to as it once was, and him sort of having that realization that he would like to come back. I just thought that was really sweet. I think every day we learn a little bit more about Leshy, and I just really enjoyed it. And then to our boy, Victor Quinn. Holy shit, Victor. Oh my god. That was fucking nuts, dude. I know, like, a lot of it is just the RNG, but the way that you described it and everything was just all very, very fun. I like how nonchalant he was about fucking blasting this. And then, a part of the roleplay that I really liked was him having the realization that he can continue bouncing it. I know that's like a really minor thing that happened, but I thought it was a fun detail. I like that you go out of your way to make all of your stuff ice related. I like that you're really tied to the cryomancy, and I like all the flavor that you add, as I've said a million times. I had a lot of fun having banter with you today. I think Victor is a very fun character when you can kind of pull him out of the shell a little bit, and I like that we're getting more moments of that, especially compared to how he was in the beginning. And that isn't to say that it was bad RP in the beginning. It was really good RP, but I think what's especially good is seeing him sort of grow a little bit as a person each day and kind of get to know people better, and I just thought that was wonderful. Just in general, really, really good shit. I thought today was a really fun session. Jacob, everything you did today was wonderful. The night voice you do, every time I have to hear it, makes my own throat hurt and makes me uncomfortable, so I don't even know how you managed to do it, but it is incredible voice acting every single time. You surprised me with the werewolf thing. I knew they were coming, but I didn't expect it to be that, because it's been a different thing every single time that we've run this. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was very fun. I liked the banter I got to have with the captain. I've really been looking forward to getting to Valaki, because it's somewhere where Yekaterina really does know people, and you and I can have a much more natural interaction back and forth. So I think just the taste of that today was very, very good. I really enjoyed it, and I just think in general you did a wonderful job with your descriptions. As always, you're an amazing DM. Go to work. I know you stayed up late to get a lot done, and I know you were running on fumes today. It was not noticeable. You did wonderful. Wishes. I have one that is my usual not fun thing, and I don't mean it. In combat, one thing that's going to make things go a lot quicker is if you know what you want to do when your turn comes around. So just keep that in mind. Prepare yourself for what you're ready to do, so you're not sitting there having to decide between 10 different things. I know that doesn't always work out, because sometimes somebody gets moved or something changes and you have to change things up on the fly. That's obviously understandable. But for other times, just try to work through what you want to do in the time. Other than that, I just really want to play. I think today was an amazing session. I had a lot of fun with you guys. I wish that Jacob gets sleep. That's my big wish. Thank you.
Yes,
The rest
rest.
of the wicked. All right, last, but certainly not. Thank you for this. Thank you for that. Sorry, not falling asleep in my
How
chair.
dare
Fuck
you.
you. Last, but certainly not least, our resident high boy.
All right. First off, I'll start. Let's see. I'm gonna do it the way I started writing down notes. Leshy, I think we've had the greatest time, especially during our tower. I loved our small interaction. Get to open up a little bit with Garrick with you. I think it was absolutely phenomenal. Also, I have to absolutely say, I expected us to throw the werewolf down the cliff. I didn't expect you, out of all people, to go down with the werewolf off the cliff. I expected Friend to do that. I didn't expect you, and it threw me for a fucking loop, because I had to mute myself laughing at that. It caught me so off guard, but I think it was honestly way in character for you to do that. And again, with how Yekaterina said it, like with you saying how much fall damage is this, was amazing. Also, really loved your interactions with Blue the Raven. I think it was fun that you kind of, in a sense, cornered Hades on that mid-role play, because it almost felt like he had to break character, but like in a fun way. Just that we could keep it going. Victor, I always love your descriptions. I'm so glad that you almost get to play around with your like ice details in your magic and with how you interact with the world. I think it's really, really great. I love it every time. Love that you fucking almost one-shotted the werewolf boss that would have probably taken us most of the session to do. We turned that into like a 15-minute combat session. It was great. And I loved your interactions with Friend near the end. I think both of you had, I think it was a really good interaction. Go to Geek Runner. Thank you for the drugs. Appreciate it. I got. I wish I would. There were so many. You really carried the session today, and I really wish I could have helped a lot more. But you took me out of it. Mainly because you drugged the fuck out of me. But I think it was really fun. I had a lot of fun actually acting high, because I really try to channel like my past experiences into this as much as possible. So I'm glad everybody enjoyed that. For Friend, I think Friend being impatient and pissy every time we had to stop for some form of interaction was, I think, a really great detail, because we're almost home. You're like a kid that wants to go home and almost, in a sense, play with a new toy, or just wants to go home and take a nap. It is with such a fun, like, interaction. I actually half expected Friend to just say, fuck it, pick up the horse and just start dragging the cart straight toward the town. I think it was really fun. I also really liked your interactions with Victor. I think it was funny that you picked him up and slung him over your shoulders to get the letter out. That was a real fun interaction. Also with the guard having to point out that Victor looks dead, and then you also look dead as a flesh golem. I think it was funny. Kane, I loved every one of your interactions this session. I loved your interaction with the guard. I love that you were able to get the final hit, the final kill on the werewolf, and with your interactions with it. My biggest wish, though, I think it was just not in the cards today that you didn't have many interactions, and even but I'm glad you took every opportunity to have an interaction when you were given the opportunity. I just don't think you didn't have many opportunities this session. So hopefully next session you can basically shine again. That was my biggest issue. But again, loved every interaction you had. Hades, thank you very much for the roleplay. I loved the werewolf guy. I loved Blue. I loved the interaction Peach had with the old lady and Victor. That was fucking hilarious. I loved your gate guard, and I can't wait to see the refugees and the Vistani camp that robbed us. I am very excited to see that. Other than that, other than wish, I want to see more K next session. That's about it.
Alrighty, thank you so much. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I dismiss you all. Thank you once again for such a wonderful game, wonderful session. I look forward greatly to next week when we can get into some Kane and Ekaterina lore stuff, and start getting some vehicles running for Friend as well. Oh my good boy. We're not in Kresik yet, but we'll call for your daddy.
Yeah. And he'll definitely respond, and I'll definitely be taken home, and nothing bad will ever happen.
I'm sure he's gonna show up. I'm sure he's really
I'm sure it's going to be, oh my baby boy, how I thought I lost you.
Yes. You know, everybody calls their child their thing, you know?
Yeah.
Yes.
Everybody knows that. It's parenting 101.
Absolutely. I'm sorry.
Thank you all for the nice words.
Ending
Yes.
recording.
Yeah.